Savannah Guthrie releasing that emotional video plea this morning. She and her family are now offering a $1 million reward for information that leads to their mother Nancy's return. Meanwhile, a source telling Fox Digital one of the photos from Nancy Guthrie's doorbell camera was taken on a different date than the others. Law enforcement experts say this suggests the suspect cased the scene before the night Nancy disappeared. And the Pima County sheriff later said the photos had no timestamp, and any suggestion that the photographs were taken on different days was speculation. As you can see here, one he has a backpack, the other he does not. And a federal source stands by that initial reporting. You know, Bill, we were on the air when this video first came out, and it's heartbreaking. She says she might have already gone to be with the Lord that she loves. We will either celebrate a homecoming or celebrate the brave, noble life that Nancy lived. That
was a key line, Kaylee, and I do agree with you on that. The other thing she said is that someone knows how to find our mom, and that's why the award money goes up to $1 million offered by the family. I don't know why it took this long to get there. That's not an accusation against the family. It's just, ladies, I am just confounded about motive in this case.
Yes.
I have no ability to understand why anyone would want to abduct an 84-year-old woman from her own home. You know, was that the intent, or was she just in the way? And they've given us so few details about, you know, information from inside the house. Was anything gone? Do we
Amen.
Do we even know that answer yet? I mean, was this a burglary or not? Was it a robbery or not? Was this an abduction or not? Why don't you tell us when the timestamp went out? Why don't you give us a day or a date? You know what you could do? And I'm just going to repeat this point because Ed Smart said it on day 2. He was missing his daughter, Elizabeth. He was accused by some early on. And he said, we held press conferences all the time. And if the national media didn't cover it, that was okay because the news outlets in Salt Lake would. And if our daughter was nearby, she would know that we're still looking for her. I don't know why law enforcement cannot dribble out details every other day because, folks, we'd be all over that story. So would every other network live, NBC, CNN, MS Now, Fox. We'd all be covering it, and you would have a vehicle to keep Nancy Guthrie's name alive in the community. And I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I wish somebody could explain it to me.
You raise a key question about motive. I mean, Harris, the sheriff threw water on the idea that this was a burglary gone wrong. So that eliminates something, at least. Maybe that's his public communication, at least. Secondly, you think about a ransom, but we have the ransom notes don't appear to have brought anything to fruition. And then you think of something personal, but this is an 84-year-old church-going woman. It's really confounding to think of a motive.
Well, look, we probably will never know what they didn't tell us from the beginning. But for days, the but the reward money rocked at $2,500. Yeah. $2,500. Just sat there. And I thought, what do they know that they're not offering more for information? Have they already solved this case? What do they know? And again, we may never know what we don't know. But my point is, now that we're up to $1 million, it's 24 days in. A cold case can get hot again, and that's what I'm praying for. But again, what do they know? And how comfortable was that man, again, seen in the video, if it's the same one that they call a suspect, without the backpack in this next video, and they think it was from another day or another night, how comfortable was that individual coming back more than once? Is this someone who's known now to neighbors or whatever? I mean, these are questions for, I thought, to Bill's point, maybe days 3 through 7.
We were sitting here when that $2,500 was announced.
Yeah.
And we were talking to our experts out in Tucson. And it was explained to us that the amount was so low because they were hot on somebody. But that wasn't true. And now we're all still sitting here wondering what's up.
There's been a lot of confusion. I mean, Emily, let's just pull up the picture. Immediately, analysts noticed that, one, there's a backpack, one, there's not. So either on the same evening, this individual approached the door twice, or on separate days. And then you get this reporting at separate days, and then all of a sudden, no one said that. Neither the FBI did, nor did the Pima County Sheriff's Office.
Look, I think in the beginning, I know I was one that hesitated to sound critical out of respect for law enforcement. But at this point, I have only sort of abject disdain for the way that the sheriff has handled this. And that confusion is just part of the pattern. It does not strike me as an organized, respectful withholding of information, or I should say intentional withholding of information to preserve the integrity of the investigation. I just see this as absolute incompetence. And him saying in front of the family on national TV that it might take years to find this, that is not what you do. They should have had every day at noon or whatever time a presser, even if it is just to say at this point we have no updates for you, public, but we are here for questions and we are here to stand in solidarity with the Guthrie family and to show that we are working relentlessly to find her abductor and her, and not at the Arizona Wildcats basketball game. Ooh. I find this absolutely unacceptable. And for someone that is in an elected position, he is not demonstrating to the rest of the community that if this was their grandmother or mother or daughter, that he would employ some type of modicum of dedication to finding them home. I see this as a squandering of resources, and the fact that this poor grandmother might actually, that Savannah today for the first time articulated a potential that she is not still with us, it just breaks my heart because that is preventable. And final technological point, if indeed it was 2 different days, this demonstrates that Google has the capacity to claw even more footage. It was not relegated or refined or confined to just that one, the most immediate like scrambling of the what they found on the camera. I don't know the right words. So I hold hope. Thank you. I hold hope that it still becomes hot, that they find something, a license plate in the background, something to identify these
monsters.
Do they have footage from the indoor cameras? I still would love the answer.
I also wonder if it's the same person in those photos. Right? Have we determined that well, when you pop those up, the screen, the person on the right side of the screen, maybe it's the same person, but there seems to be a little bit of a
They haven't confirmed. And they've said that the pressure from the step may be a little bit different in the gate. I mean, that's some of what we're reading. I don't know what to trust and what not to trust
Pour the
anymore,
details
though,
onto the public,
honestly.
and let us have more information. To Bill's point, what did it look like inside that house? We're still left wondering. But we were told that it appeared that she was taken against her will. So we had reason to believe they found some stuff in that house. What was it? And forced entry or not, they refused to answer that question, how the person entered the home. Why is that a secret from the public? I'd also wonder, too, why the family perhaps hasn't decided by now, and God bless them for what they're going through, but decided to hold more press conferences themselves.
So question.
And perhaps just plead with the public, plead with anybody who has answers. She is with these videos, but they can provide more information if they choose, as difficult as that may be. But I do believe that we're hungry for more information. And Emily, to your point about this investigation, the pizza being delivered to the front door, getting past the police there at the scene of the crime. It's been difficult. This has been really difficult, and I pray for that family.
And to your point, Ed Smart and the Smart family decided at one point to go against the advice of investigators. And it was their decision to put out the image of the suspect, the drawing that led to the finding of Elizabeth Smart. So wondering if that's happened here.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.